How is everybody tonight? Well, it's about time that I showed you my Minecraft world. We're coming in from the north part of it. I'll explain to you why in a second. Coming up on a harbor. This is the first harbor that I built. It uses a piston mechanism to keep the boats from floating away. And note the jack-o'-lanterns and the dungeon stone. I got a lot of dungeon stone. I figured that I might as well build all my harbors out of dungeon stone. Let's see if I can reach this lever here. Here we go. There we go. See? Closed. Oops. I hate it when this happens. But anyway, in this chest, there are spare boats in case I crash this one. The redstone connections are for the pistons. As you've gathered, this is a way to the immediate outside area. You can shut this door here. And up here is the connection between the harbor and the railroad. This railway will take us to the central compound. So let's just head there from Village Station Harbor. Yeah, I name these stations after certain things. You're going to see why this is Village Station in a few minutes. But first, the central compound. Coming up on the swamp biome where the central compound is located. And there it is. We'll get around to describing its particulars in just a few moments. Here's the little frame rate. Here we are. Okay, so this is a place I like to call the subterranean, the subway station. Now I'm going to set this so that we go to the village instead of the main route, the village for which this station is named. And while we're here, there's another branchway I'd like to explore, the one to the nether sphere. You'll find out about that later. We come up on the main compound right around now. Here we are. Out here is the courtyard, where I grow my sugar cane, my wheat, my melons, and my pumpkins. This area is kept constantly lit by torches. I never really got around to replacing them with blocks of glowstone, but still. Now, over here is the hotel. It consists of a bed, a workbench, a chest with some miscellaneous stuff in here, mostly arrows, a couple of rope pads, some flint, creeper dust, a few eggs, speaking of which, these eggs should be somewhere else, but let's not dwell on that. And all the other stuff I couldn't really fit into categories in the other buildings, which I'll discuss with you later. And down here is another way to the subway. And nearby, we have the smelting works. Count them, 4 furnaces. And look, they have something in them. I was smelting stacks of iron. And some gold. We got some gold too. Ooh, it's night out. But don't worry, we're not in any danger. This area is constantly well lit and guarded by the fence. If a creeper were to show up back here, I can simply attack him. Moving right along, why don't we take a look at our miscellaneous articles storage. Now take a look at the way this is laid out. You've got 2 chests, one here, one here. In case you're curious, this chest contains non-stackable items buckets and saddles, kind you find in dungeons, and in the case of buckets, mine shafts. And this contains rails, chests, some fences left over from this time I excavated the fences from a mine shaft. It turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought it would. And some dynamite, which I haven't actually let off yet. But take a look at the massive amount of rail here. You're probably wondering where all this rail came from. Well, mine shafts. I dig up the rail from the mine shaft. Now, supposing I run out of space here, I can simply add a level, raise the roof like so. And this is our second level. More buckets, more saddles, considerably more saddles than buckets, and more buckets and saddles. Well, this is a very boring storage facility. Let's go on to our less boring storage facility here, next door. As it isn't a storage facility, it is a kitchen. This kitchen is used to brew potions, as well as cook stuff. And I used the oven to smelt some iron ingots because I was really running high on iron ore this one time. We just sock away these eggs, these seeds, the bones, the rotten flesh. Anything organic goes in this storage facility. You're probably wondering what the buckets are doing there. Well, you can make cake. To make cake, you need 3 buckets of milk, plus some eggs, some wheat, and some sugar. But the buckets are for the milk. All you gotta do is click on the cow. I remember the days when you had to actually click on the cow's udders, which is a very difficult job. And over here in this chest, we get the various stuff you make for using potions. You know, like spider eyes, slimes. I threw in some map and paper in here because where I got it from. Well, the map is where I got it from, Stronghold. And the paper because we use paper to make books, and we'll figure out what to do with books later on. Got a couple of potions I was experimenting with, but I never really got a chance to try them out, or felt the need to. Ooh, the blaze rods, they're notoriously difficult to get, at least if you don't know how. Up here on the second level, we have 2 things. This is what I like to call my DJ station. And here's a collection of records. I only wish that they'd put the other 9 records in the survival mode, because it's just these 2 that are available right now. And here, a record player. Yes, I know they're called music discs, but consider it this way. Most of you watching this might not even know what a record is, or what it looks like. Well, take a good look, because a record essentially looks like a music disc from Minecraft. It may not be much of a comparison, but it's something. So why don't we put on some music? This is our enchantment station. I have filled up essentially as much space as I possibly could with books. Take a look up here. All these are bookshelves. This is the absolute maximum amount of bookshelves you can surround an enchanting table with and still be able to access it. If I stacked bookshelves any higher, well, they simply wouldn't be effective on the enchantment table. You can enchant stuff on the enchanting table. I'm not gonna right now, but I just want to put it out there. And the more bookshelves we've got surrounding our enchantment table, the more enchantments will be accessible to you. We're going to skip the Museum of Rare Articles for a while, but essentially what this is all the stuff that's really hard to get. What is that stuff? We'll discuss that later. In here we have redstone storage. A place where mostly redstone is stored, which you can see here. But I got other stuff here too. For example, cobblestones. Take a look at the amount of mossy cobblestone in here. A lot of dungeons. You have to be ready to get that. And up here, well, there's more redstone on this side. But this side has some more building materials, including all the cobblestone I couldn't fit in the lower chest. I've got some sand here, some sandstone, some wood, some netherrack, etc., and a lot of obsidian. Yeah, essentially what I did was I was mining wild obsidian. Doused some still lava and just sort of went to town. Needed it too. Now up here, we've got the last bits of redstone. I'm throwing redstone torches in here too. And over here, these are various storage blocks for the stuff that you can just sort of fuse together into a storage block. You can make blocks out of iron, gold, lapis lazuli, and it's not seen here, but diamond, which you can use to build stuff with. Now out here, the story behind this extension to the courtyard is an interesting one. In one of the pre-releases, a melon would yield only one slice of melon instead of the typical 3 to 7. Fearing that this might become the standard, I added some space up here. Take a look at the way these are constructed. I've got some water here, plus your regular 3x3 plot of wheat or melons. And a nice view of the path we just took to come in. There's also a sneaky way across here to the other building. This is our tallest building. It stores 2 things. One of them is coal. This building goes up 7 levels. On the 5th level, I decided to make an observation post. Note the windows for walls. You get a splendid view here, especially of the rest of the compound. Also notice the presence of jack-o'-lanterns on top of these buildings. The reasoning behind that is to prevent monsters from spawning on top of these buildings and entering the compound. Here we are at our 7th floor. We've got this chest almost filled with coal. Yeah, there's just 1 coal shy of it. Arguably, this means that there are a dozen chests full because the other one on the top level isn't full yet. Still, consider how common coal is. And I really just can't let the streak of coal go unmined unless it's like way up at the top of the ravine where it's just ridiculously difficult. But that would be a pretty extreme situation there. Now down at the bottom, I've got the only non-coal chest in this particular building. It contains ores, ingots and ores, plus bits of other stuff you can stack and smelt. Lapis lazuli you can form into a block. And here's one, speaking of blocks, here's some diamond blocks. This is a pair of iron boots that I never really, I accidentally made 2 by mistake. And here's some clay, you can smelt it into brick, but clay is very common in this one. So you've gotten a pretty good look at the central compound, with the exception, of course, of the Museum of Rare Articles. There's a reason for that. Get into it later. Not have left this gate open. So, well, we're going to travel beyond the band, but before that, why don't we listen to the other record?